we'll open this up to questions. If let me know. Let me see. You can unmute yourself, or you can type in the chat if you'd like to share. I'm going to temporarily unmute all those on the phone. So, but if there's too much background noise, I will have to mute you again. So I've unmuted the people who dialed in through their phone, and if you're on your computer or tablet, or just feel free to ask away. Okay. Was that a question? Okay. I think there's a little background noise there. So Rick, while we're waiting for other people to ask, I'm curious, can you share a little bit more about what's the difference between a Rotary International sponsored program versus what CART is?
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
Can you explain a little further, I guess, the difference between what a Rotary International sponsored program is and what CART is?
Well, Rotary International Sponsored Project would be more like Polio Plus, where, the efforts of all of the 1.2 million Rotarians in the world are geared towards eradicating polio. I guess that would be the best example, where, that's has the focus of all Rotarians everywhere. But, I think the other great thing about the CART Fund is it shows that clubs can individually or join together and take on a project. That Rotary has that kind of flexibility that allows that to happen. That you can say, well, this is going on in our area, or this is another good example of that right now is disaster relief. Many people don't know, but there's a whole lot of efforts going on right now with Rotary. With the Hurricane Matthew, it very much affected the eastern part of the United States, and clubs are raising a lot of money and making donations to disaster relief. That's not necessarily a Rotary International program, but Rotary International supports it, and same with the CART Fund. They support the CART Fund. So I think that's the main difference, is that Polio Plus is a separate entity or separate program within really the Rotary Foundation itself. So,
Rick, this is Diana Phillips in Hillsborough.
Hey, Diana, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
I wanted to ask a question about the researchers. Do they give information back to Rotary about their findings, their methodology, peer reviews, things like that?
Yes, they do, and that three-person committee follows up with those researchers to see where they're at. And what I've heard is that a lot of times, they may start down one path with the research, but by what they're doing, they find something out, or find that the original direction isn't working, but they go in another direction with something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other great thing about CART Fund, is that, with this early stage, it has that potential to lead to something big, and for these people to be able to get those funds, to be able to keep that going, is really critical. But yes, they do. They are followed up with to see, and there's audits to see how the money is spent too.
Thanks.
There's also a very good. If you go on the CART Fund website, there is a very good video that can be viewed. It's called Remembering No More. It was a video made by a television station down in South Carolina that was shown on some TV stations down there. And it talks about Alzheimer's, and it also talks about CART Fund. And talks about some of the things I talked to you about tonight. And also, it talked with a lady who has Alzheimer's. And it's a very moving video. It's about a 20-minute video. But if you have some time sometime, you can also just Google Remember and Know More, and it'll come up. But I'd really like to see the E-Club, especially, to figure out some way maybe to participate. You know, we have 48 clubs in the district now, I think, and I think 46 out of 48 participate in part. So if that's somehow you guys can, I saw a note there where somebody said it'd be a good fundraiser. Certainly would be. If there's some time you guys could do a project and have some contributions go to CART, that would be great.
Hey, Rick, this is Rachel. I have a quick question.
Sure.
Thank you, first of all, for the presentation. I know that Alzheimer's affects people, everyone in some form. But as for fundraising for us, I know that most of the time the donations come from in-person meetings. Do you have any suggestions for us since our meetings are online, or do you know what other e-clubs do?
I have not heard what other e-clubs do. I know that there are some participating. Actually, one of the a doctor in South Carolina who was very active in CART moved to Florida, and he's now an e-club member, and he is. I'd be happy to try to reach out to him to see how they were doing it down there, how they were doing some fundraising. You know, I think one thing would just be is, you know, checks of any size or donations of any size are greatly appreciated. You know, a check for $5 or a contribution of $5 is greatly appreciated. That's how we do this. Also, when you attend a lot of the district events, district conference, assemblies and things like that, most of the time there's usually a CART bucket somewhere out there. And it'd be great, you know, just put your change in. My club, you know, I put my change, I have a little jar where next to where I put my keys, my billfold every evening, and I empty my pockets of change and I put it in this little cup, and then I'll take that to my club and I'll empty that. But I'll be happy to contact that e-club down in Florida and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how they do that. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Rick. Because yeah, we you know, when we were coming up to the deadline last spring for donating to the CART fund as part of our district, you know, we kind of did it last minute at our social event. So not having being able to give coins to each into a bucket during our club meetings is definitely a challenge. So it'd be great to hear what other e-club members do.
Yeah. Do you guys did I get you guys a bucket? Do you have a bucket?
I did get one from Joyce. So.
Well, I mean, that would be great. Just at your socials when you do have those, you know, just set the bucket out.
Yeah.
And when people know kind of what it's about, they'll start putting money into it. You know.
Yeah, we had one person, a friend of a friend who brought a full bag of coins with him because.
Yeah, and you know, if you're in a bar or a restaurant or whatever, and you put that bucket out, and people might start asking about what it's all about. You know, that's a great chance to tell a story, and also they might put a little bit of money in there too.
Yeah. Any other questions for Rick? Okay, so I have another question, Rick. So can you tell us, do you know about the different events across our district and across, I guess, other districts as well that support Alzheimer's awareness? Because I know there's one that is here in Durham where they did a district grant to support the caregivers and give them a caregiver luncheon. And I know there's others in the district, different types of Alzheimer's awareness events.
Yeah, the other one that's got started a couple years ago is what's called the Memory Cafe, and the 5 Rotary clubs in Cary. This is actually a joint project of those 5 clubs. And the Memory Cafe, what it is I think it's the second Tuesday, third Tuesday of every month. They put on a dinner and entertainment for Alzheimer's patients and caregivers. And the emphasis is as much on the caregivers as it is on the patient. This event now, this last week, they had over 80 people attending. Thank you for putting up the webpage there. And it's a really great chance for caregivers to come together and talk and, you know, share what's going on. Plus it gives them a chance to have some time of more relaxation. There's a meal provided and entertainment. They love the entertainment. I think their favorite entertainment is the Elvis impersonator, who puts on, sings and puts on a show for them. But this has been a really great project of the 5 clubs in Cary, and it's really growing. So that's the one I'm most familiar with. I know a couple of years ago when Matthew Kane was our district governor, he really put an emphasis on Alzheimer's, and he actually brought a group from Brazil to the district to learn about how we deal with Alzheimer's in the U.S. And they were here for over a week, and that was a great exchange between 2 Rotary districts. That relationship continues with them in Brazil. So the Memory Cafe is something that if you'd like to volunteer for anytime. It's at the Cary Community Center at Bond Park in Cary, and it's a third Tuesday of every month. So.
Thanks, Rick. I went down scrolled down the screen and here are the dates there.
Yeah, and just real quick, another offshoot of the Memory Cafe is there's a nonprofit in Cary called the Volunteer Center for Caregiving that provides volunteers to help elderly stay in their home and try to remain independent as long as possible, but they also help with Alzheimer's respite care. And that group is going to partner with the Memory Cafe and the Rotary Clubs to provide, before each Memory Cafe, there will be a time for the caregiver to have a break. So the Volunteer Center will provide volunteers to be with the Alzheimer's patients to give the caregivers a break so that they could go to doctor's appointments or just have a couple hours of relief. So that's an interesting thing that's kind of happened as an offshoot from the Memory Cafe.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yep. I think a Memory Cafe could work in Durham and other towns.
Do any of the grants, have they all gone to, I guess, saying that it's for research, I assume then it's all, the grants for CART all go to research grants and not for any programs, is that right?
Yeah, it's all research grants. Yeah. Also, if you got one more minute, I mentioned too, the other thing that is going on in our district that receives district grants from the district, from Rotary, is music and memory. I think Central Johnson and the Clayton clubs and clubs down that way have done that, and that's where they're taking iPods and downloading music. And what they found, the research has found that Alzheimer's patients respond very, very well when listening to music that they're familiar with from their era. Many of the clubs have participated in that program and providing iPods and downloading music and working. Yeah, there's a good page there on that. It's another great program, and there's a great video out there about that too. It's amazing to see how these Alzheimer's patients respond when they hear this music that they're familiar with. So that's another great program. It's another project that you guys could, the E-Club could get involved in at some point in time.
Wonderful, awesome. I know I've heard about it, so I've heard great things about it. And are there any other questions for Rick regarding CART? Okay. Well, Rick, I'm going to ask you for maybe some information if you could share with us about our upcoming district conference in April.
Yeah, every year our district puts on a district conference. Many times we might travel to Asheville or New Bern or Myrtle Beach. The 2017 district conference is going to be in Raleigh. It's going to be at the Sheraton Downtown Hotel right by the Convention Center downtown. It will be on April the 7th and 8th of 2017. So it will start Friday at noon and end Saturday afternoon. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of Rotarians from the district. Usually attendance is around somewhere between 300 and 350 people come. A lot of programs about things going on in our district and in Rotary. Some great speakers. We have Peace Fellows. Osborne, I think, is one of you guys' members, and actually he's going to be on a panel to discuss some water and sanitation issues. When we have it in district like this, we do usually finish up on Saturday afternoon. So we'll have some good social time Saturday after the conference to get together and do some fun things. And Governor Racine is actually, I think she presented to your club. She probably talked about her shoe project for this year. And at the district conference, we will collect all those shoes, bring them all together to be donated to the kids that they'll go to. So that's going to be a fun event on Saturday afternoon. If you've never been to a district conference, this is a great one to be able to go to since it's right here in our district. We're trying to make it as affordable as possible to give everybody a chance to come. I think going back to when I've been in Rotary now 27 years, it's when I started going to district conferences that I started really learning about how to become a Rotarian and seeing all the things that are going on. So it's a great little weekend, great fun. I know some of y'all attended last year's conference down in Wilmington, and I think you had a good time, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely had fun.
Yeah, I mean, registration. We've just been working on the website for it. The website will be opened up here pretty soon. If you go to the district calendar that's on the district database, it's on there, and your registration will open on December the 1st for early registration to save some money. So be looking out for that. That'll be coming up pretty soon. Pull up the calendar now. So I think if you go down to April, you'll see it on there. There's not registration is not opened up yet, but it will be soon.
Sorry, I was on mute. Do you think district conference is a good opportunity also for interactors and Rotaractors?
Yeah, I do. It's a great chance to further hear about what's going on with Rotary. And I would say if there's an issue about funding, about being able to attend, just let me know or Racine know. We'll figure out a way to help subsidize that in some respects to help get some of them there. If that's something they would like to do. Really a great opportunity to meet more Rotarians and learn more about Rotary.
Wonderful. Does anyone have any questions for Rick about the district conference? Okay. Well, we definitely, we look forward to getting that website, seeing that website up and running so we can register and get a glimpse of what the program will look like. This past district conference in Wilmington, I thought the speakers were really great. Hearing from one of the Peace Fellows from the first class, and hearing from the ambassadorial scholar. She was, they were both awesome. So looking forward to, and luckily, you know, for those of us here in Central North Carolina, it's not far at all.
No.
And it's not far for Rachel either, because she's just a couple blocks away in downtown Raleigh. So Interact Club members, if you're interested, keep that in mind. So April, where was that? April
7th and 8th.
Yep, April 7th and 8th right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Great. Well, Rick, we really want to thank you tonight for being here and sharing all these details about CART and the upcoming district conference. It's been very, very enlightening, and we'd like to provide this certificate of appreciation for being our guest speaker this evening, for imparting valuable insights and inspiration. So thank you for taking the time and logging in with us tonight, and joining in on our E-Club meeting.
I'll join for some future meetings too. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. So